So basically you choose a person depending on the nature of the sport.
On the nature of the sport.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay.
And then we have studied the training methods. We have studied how to make a weekly training program, which is scientific, which is weekly, annual, okay, long-term 2-3 years training program. How to divide the training program into maybe two sessions a day or 3 sessions a day, well, or rather just 1 session a day is sufficient. For what are the reasons why a person comes to a plateau? Why is stagnated? Why is he not improving? And again, after coming to a plateau, there are instances of a player bringing about incline in his sports performance and some bringing decline. So we as coaches have learned and studied how to get over this.
Okay.
How to help the player get over this.
Okay.
And
So have you prepared a plan now of how are you going to go ahead with it in Goa?
I am very, very thankful to my sir VM Prabhu Desai in the first place because he has encouraged me all the way right from 92.
Okay.
I can't remember an instance where he said no to me for any course, any workshop that I need to attend, or any international or national or all India tournament that I need and want to attend. Sir Prabhu Desai has been generous enough to directly permit me. And so goes with my coaching director, joint director, Sir Bruno Coutinho.
Yeah.
So how I plan to promote it, the first thing is when I finished my convocation, I went to Sir Prabhu Desai.
Okay.
He wants me to be a resource person for SAG coaches. So very shortly in a month.
For all coaches?
For all coaches.
Volleyball, hockey, everything.
So first thing first, I would have 2 PowerPoint presentations by March end or April for our coaches, preliminary coaches and the other coaches on contract.
Okay.
Thereafter, I would target the physical education teachers.
Okay, in this presentation, what are you going to just tell them?
One PPT would be maybe a role of a coach.
Okay.
Maybe
In a role of a coach in selection, in everything.
Coach overall.
Overall.
His character, his personality, what are his wants, what is the way he should carry himself. Defining what is an autocratic type of coach, what is a democratic type of coach. Okay. So I mean there are different coaches.
Okay.
In different ways they operate. So my other younger coaches who have just joined the Sports Authority of Goa and other contract coaches, I feel would learn a bit from me. Definitely would learn a bit from me.
And other
And then lately there have been some rule changes in basketball. And as you earlier pointed out, the participation in basketball is very small.
It's dwindling numbers, maybe you can say.
Okay. The reason being is when a physical education teacher doesn't know how to select a team or how to train them or what are the rule implications, why would he put up a team and make a shame of himself?
Sure.
So somewhere in the month of June, July, I'm planning for an all-Goa physical education teachers workshop on basketball. So it will have maybe a theoretical and PowerPoint session in the morning session and a practical session in the evening. So maybe I'm looking at maybe a 1-week program where I discuss rules, I discuss training methods, I discuss with the player teachers their problems they are facing, why they are not pushing. I would maybe make a chart and I'll chart out a program as to which schools are participating, which are not. If not, why they are not.
Sure.
This should go on.
How much of basketball is about height? I mean, tall students or tall players, and how much of it is about skills?
I think if you speak about me in the first place, I need not boast about myself, but when I did my diploma, was 52 kgs in weight.
Okay.
And 5 feet 8 inches in height. So I think you need not be physically tall, you need to be intellectually and mentally tall to play the game. Because as much as basketball requires height, because of the type of dominance we have under the board, basketball also requires speed, agility, speed endurance, and good long-range shooters, good ball handlers, which a shorter person can do better.
Sure.
Which a shorter person would definitely perform better in shooting skills. So we basically have positional players. And unlike football and other games, we have all 5 players moving up, all 5 players moving back on defense. So these positional players, the taller players are post players who play closer to the board. They need to be tall. Then maybe the medium height, maybe 6 foot or 5'10", need to be wing players.
Okay. Maybe the school teachers and college teachers would want to know all about this.
On all the school aspects, on the positional plays, on all these things as far as basketball is.
So you got a massive task on your hand, but should be exciting and challenging for you.
As I said, my department, Sports Authority of Goa, is full out with me. Whenever I come up with any proposal, there is never a no. I'm very thankful to Sir Prabhu. There is never a no. And I have a very good rapport with him, whereas if even I ask something maybe which is a little out of this, he would say yes, because we know each other very well.
Nutrition is one of the most important aspect of sports. Could you enlighten us with your knowledge in sports nutrition?
See, basically it's not about eating less, it's about eating the right thing. So most sports demand a musculature type of a body, ectomorphic type of body. So for that,
could you just break down to a layman's word for that?
Yeah, so what I mean is, in sports we demand less of fatty, flabby type of people, and more of people having more of muscle mass, less fat mass.
Okay.
So basically, whenever we even test a sports person, we test how much of muscle mass does he have, and how much of fat mass does he have. So it's not about being heavy or about eating less or more. Like you compare the two sisters, Venus and Serena Williams. Anyone would say Serena is
fat,
so fat and this, and still she's playing a game that is so exhaustive. So it's that she has more of muscle mass that's helping her survive. Okay. So when we get back to nutrition, it's about eating the right thing. So we can eat between fat, proteins, and carbohydrates. Our diet basically depends on these three things. So the percentage in these three should be 20, 40, 40. So 20% should be fat, 40% should be carbohydrates, and 40% should be proteins.
This is general for all sports.
In general, for all sports.
Okay.
Now, when you speak about wrestling, their demands would be a little different. When you speak about endurance run, that is
athletics,
marathon
long
runner,
distance run,
you would have a little different diet. Okay, so basically this is the type of diet we need to have, and again, it depends on how much kilocalories per day is our intake. Like a basketballer in a day needs to take about 5,000 kilocalories, which he needs to burn out also. What you consume, one has to burn out in all sports. In all sports. So what we suggest and recommend our players to have, again, that has to be personalized. When a group of children come to you, they are fat, thin, tall, some are very skinny and bony. So you have to get personalized with them. You have to get them individually and give them a separate diet plan. So someone who is thin, very lean in this, you do request him and do make him understand that he needs to eat some fat. He needs to take.
Are you equipped to make diet charts for all kinds of children?
I had in my course, I had a 6 months semester only on nutrition.
Okay. So basically, if you can say a thin student comes to maybe 13, 14 years old, and he says, I would want to be a basketball player. So how would you consult him? Just an example.
In regard to nutrition, or
in regards to nutrition?
In regard to nutrition.
Now
if he is
underweight, maybe.
He is underweight, I would suggest him to have more of banana, more of carbohydrates, little bit of fat also to support it, and exercise. See, even if a thin and a lean person just intakes food and does not exercise, it just goes out. Okay, so that intake that he takes, he needs to exercise, work out, and then it will convert into his muscle mass. Then he will put in bulk. And in our local I don't know what you call it in English, but in our Goan they say Tizan, Nashneche Tizan. That's the best to put on weight with a combination of Tizan and bananas.
Okay.
So a person who is underweight, malnourished, not
put on weight in the sense muscle, or it would give him fat?
No, he would put on muscle.
Muscle mass.
Put on muscle mass. He would put on muscle mass, and it has to be supported well with his workout regime, exercise regime.
That's a must.
That's a must. That's a must. Yes.
Coming to the staple diet of Goa, it's sheet kodi. How does it augur for sportsmen in general? Is it okay, or they have to make some changes to be high performance sports people?
Now what we speak about rice and curry is perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Except that in the night during dinner, you cut down on rice. You have more of maybe chapatis, some bajra rotis, or something on that side. Do not avoid having rice in the nights.
I see.
Avoid having rice in the nights, because that would have adverse effects on, what do you say, like you would put on too much weight or put on a tummy. That's it. Okay, because as we know, Goans are habitual to eating late nights, and after eating late nights they go straight to bed. Unlike some other people, after eating they are awake for 2 hours, they go for a walk or something like that. That does not happen in Goa. We eat late and immediately crash off to sleep.
So that's a change they have to do in their lifestyle.
Definitely.
Overall, if you go to see the sports level in Goa,
Yeah.
my view is that there is a lot of mediocrity. People are happy with their mediocre timings or achievements. If they are coming first, if they are winning something, they seem to be quite happy, and their coaches are not apparently pushing them to improve their timings or whatever. Do you have such feeling that Goa is kind of mediocre?
Yeah, the very reason is the type of culture that is in Goa. Why we can't compete with most others outside is most of the children or trainees coming into sports in Goa are the types who are well brought up at home.
Oh.
They do not depend on your government diet. They do not look to a government sports hostel as a life savior for them.
Okay.
So you have to compromise and bend down to their needs. If they can make it for practices, we can make it. Otherwise, we can't make it. That's the type of
So
attitude
there's
trainees have.
absolutely no discipline, and
No
that
discipline,
urge, fire in the
urge.
belly is not there.
Whereas if you go to the grassroots level of all our medal holders at national levels, whether it is South India or North India, most of them, rather 70 to 80% of them, they do come from poor backgrounds. They come from poor backgrounds wherein that Sai hostel is life savior for them. So that food given to them is life savior for them. So they are ready to give their hearts out. They are ready to bleed, sweat for the coach, for the sport. They are ready to do anything but sport. Because for them those two meals, free education and a place to stay is
Absolutely.
a God's gift. Whereas we have kids and trainees coming here who are well brought up. And if you compare these hostel scheme of food to their residence, to their homes, you can't compare the two. And again, you could even ask me then why you're not only targeting the poor.
Yeah.
Why you're not only targeting the poor. Now to tackle that, we need to have a policy wherein we have jobs after we do that.
Right.
Like this was running into my mind about starting up a Konkan railway team. I visit this Don Bosco Savio Cup tournament. That's an all India tournament, very prestigious tournament every year. Okay. Now they have this Western Railway, Eastern Railway, Central Railway, this railway, that railway. So it struck me, okay, why don't we start with a Konkan railway team?
Okay.
So initially maybe get some players like we have in our football league from maybe South India, from North India. When the train starts pushed, and then we them out and get our Goans into the limelight. See, if you give our Goans even the food, the Sai hostel schemes and everything possible, end of the day the parent would come and ask a coach, will he get a job?
That's
Will he get a job?
that's the most
the
important
Will he get
bottom
a
line.
job? Whereas you speak about Bangalore, you have Vijaya Bank job.
Absolutely.
You have Canara Bank.
There's so many banks,
Custom,
institutions
police. I
giving
think
jobs.
Here, they are doing a little for boxing. Some of them have got recruited.
Things
into-
are maybe starting to
Starting
change
to
with
change.
some corporate
Some
houses.
change, some change.
But overall, as you say, majority of people would be looking for job for motivation, and that has to happen.
That has to happen. That has to happen.
Job motivates like nothing else, I
Nothing
guess.
else.
Yeah.
Like nothing else. There are people who are doing exceedingly well in sports.
Yep.
But after graduation, they got something to
Yeah.
hold on to.
They leave.
That's
They leave
life saving
sport
for them.
and
Why sport?
That's quite a challenge in itself, like to
your-
uplift this
like your
scene.
program says simply sport. They ask the question, why sport?
Yeah,
If there's no
absolutely.
job, then why sport?
Why sport? Why sport? Yes, Sandeep, it was a great pleasure talking to you, and
Pleasure.
there are so many challenges ahead of you. I hope
Definitely,
you will be
I fulfill all of
successful
them because
in
I
them.
am a very young 37-year-old coach.
That's it. That's all the time we have in this program. We will be back next week. Keep watching Prudent Media. Goodbye.
Thank you.